Welcome everybody to another episode of the Fight IQ series. This isn't really going to be a fight considered to be part of the IQ series. I just want to give everybody that's subscribed to me, everybody that's been giving me a lot of support throughout the duration of not just the series, but just throughout since I've started my channel. I really appreciate you guys. I really like to see that you guys are learning, that you guys are getting better. You guys are making the player base a lot more competitive. You guys are letting it fly. And to me, just the whole goal of my channel has been to help other players get better. I'm a really competitive person, but I've never really felt that if I'm beating people that I'm already better than, then I'm not really getting better. But if I'm helping other people get better, that's giving myself more challenges, giving everybody else more challenges, and overall I think that makes for a much better game. So again, really thank you. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning into from the unfavorable matchup series to this, to the tutorials, the counter striking guides. Thank you. Now, if you haven't already realized, this isn't going to be a live commentary. Just because if there's one thing I've been noticing is that people do tend to play me differently when I'm on my main account, obviously, versus when I'm on an alt. And it kind of limits how people play me because then they're so focused on trying to just beat me and not really trying to use their character to the best of their ability. But I've still been able to get people that have been giving me good fights, and I still had to make a few adjustments mid-fight. So first fight we got here, it's Aldo versus Ortega. Of course, I'm Aldo. This is Brian Ortega, and this was a 2-bar, as you saw. So usually a 2-bar generally means that there's going to be a little bit of latency, either from they're from another side of the country, from either side of the country or in a whole different country altogether. But right away, there's usually 3 kinds of Ortegas. There's Ortegas that can mix up their striking and their grappling well, and they grapple later. There's Ortegas that aren't really good grapplers, and they just have Ortegas so they won't get taken down. And then there's just Ortegas that kind of fish for the 2-gate. So I'm kind of doing the little necessary things that I have to do. I'm not going to really throw any body kicks, anything that can be caught. If he checks a kick, I'm going to pre-deny with R2 down, so he can't get that max GA takedown. And I notice that he's kind of sliding all over the place, and he's mainly protecting his head, if you can see. And there's one specific combination that he's throwing throughout the duration of this fight was the straight lead uppercut straight. Haven't seen really that combo used much since Marshall used to use it in UFC 2. So in this case, I want to make sure all my strikes are landing on this block. I don't want to drain too much of my stamina, and I just want to keep an eye on his specific patterns, right? So he's going jab straight. I'm not going to move my head. That's just bait for me to move my head. For those of you who don't know, if you block a jab straight, you're not going to take much damage at all. It's not going to go through your block. So right there, I'm just making small little adjustments to my head. If there's one thing I felt that I could have definitely done better in this fight, could have countered better. So there, I slipped the 3rd strike, but I went with a slip straight. In hindsight, slipping to the inside and landing that little check hook would have done a lot more damage. Or if I slipped and I got that close, because I'm so close, I think a slip uppercut would have done a lot more damage versus the slip straight. But regardless, this connection makes it also still find myself making these smaller reads, especially being that it's a 5-round fight. I don't want to burn myself out, and I'm using now the slips to kind of chip away at his stamina rather than the counter from it. There's another counter though. Let's probably go slip uppercut instead of slip straight. And there I see him, he's doing this moving slip. So he slipped either moving to the left or to the right, and then he's looking to land a hook, which means that he's anticipating that I'm throwing a straight strike. So now it's time for me to switch up to the body, switch up to the head, alternate a little bit more, and see if is he actually genuinely trying to time this counter, or is he trying to fish for it? And again, he keeps going for that straight lead uppercut straight, which tells me he doesn't realize that I've made the necessary adjustment to counter against that strike. And as the clock is ticking, another thing I know is that he doesn't really attack the legs, doesn't really attack the body as much. He's just really focused on attacking my head and hoping I make a mistake. And the pace is slowing down just a little bit as time winds down. Tries to go for that crane kick, gets smacked with a hook. Okay, I won that first round. And I'm pretty sure I won that round, as I said right there, as you can hear me. Another reason I had to kind of do a live commentary, because I wasn't expecting to use some fights for the Fight IQ series, but
have to. It's that's their
Figured why not. Right there. Landed that leg kick as he was trying to sway. So that one landed a good amount of damage. That one is, I guess that check didn't register. I don't. That check didn't register, but I guess it still landed. It still counts as the landed strike. So I see he's kind of cycling through like the same combinations, based on what my reactions are, but not so much in a level where he's expecting me to counter the way he wants me to counter. I guess he's expecting me to slip or duck or something. But there I'm actually getting a rock off a lead hook straight, and there you see he's going for that moving slip counter. So the next time I see him slip his head, I'm gonna have a counter of my own to go against it. So he's going to telegraph this moving slip counter. So he's done it again. Watch here. Moves his head to the outside. I pull his moving slip counter and stun him with a pull back straight. And now I'm just letting loose with my hands or all of them, trying to keep him right here against the cage. He's whiffing here. Touching up the body, follow up with a third uppercut against the head. He's not really going for anything big here. Double up with some body hooks after 2 straights to the head. And here I can kind of smell that the finish can come, but I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to let his mistakes continue to punish him. Tries to go for the Ortega side kick to the head. For those of you who don't know, you could sidestep that using the left stick. And another thing is with if somebody's moving their head to the outside, for that moment that their head is on the outside, yes, you won't hit them with a straight strike. But right there and there, I figured he was going to move his head, so his timing was off on his slip counter. And once his head came back to the center line, as I predicted, I threw the front kick and got the knockout. Flash KO right out the gate. Let's take a look at that again. He started bobbling his head, so the moment he swayed, I waited a second. Damn, he dead. Oh man, he's dead. Let me know if you guys prefer live commentary or like me going back to this. I feel like for me it's easier to break fights down as I'm seeing it happen, because I already know what my thought process is as I was fighting the specific fight. But yeah, just let me know. Alright, see what this next fight is. This next fight is going to be against Ferguson. This guy, I saw a record was 2-2 against us. So usually if it's somebody I haven't fought in a while and I don't recall their play style, I'm usually taking that first round off to kind of download in a way how they're fighting. So he goes for the jab, body teep kick. And usually the first thing I kind of do is, if I get into the pocket, I'm just going to let go a flurry of a good amount of strikes to see what kind of counters does this person have in his arsenal, right? Like if he sees me throwing these strikes, what is he going to try to counter me with? So I can try to counter his counter. Weird way of thinking, I know, but that's usually how it kind of works. And right there, he was feinting into the pocket, but when somebody's trying to feint their way into punching range, don't freeze up to against the frame. Again, you have to blow through the frame. So if somebody's just trying to feint and get into range, plant and rip your strikes go. And I'm noticing that he's trying to slip, pull, move his head. So I'm going to start mixing in a healthy dose of leg kicks. If I see he's going to pull a strike, I'm going to feint the strike so he doesn't successfully pull it. See that? Back to feinting into the pocket. He's trying to feint into range, and then he's getting met by a barrage of punches. So far so good. Checks that kick. See that? It's double feints every time. And to me, the way he's moving his head is telling me that he's just fishing for me to whiff. He's fishing for me to make mistakes he can counter. Slip straight. An uppercut. I tried to go for the low single there. I don't know why that clinch came out. The more I can kick his legs, the more I can get him to stop moving his head, because he's going to realize he's going to take a lot of damage. Someone's just hopefully wishing to move their head. Once you get the timing down on when they move their head, attack the legs. That's the best thing you can do. Or attack the body if you have somebody that's really good with body kicks. Notice that once my head health reaches a specific range, if it gets down to half, I'm going to mainly protect my head. And I'm going to limit getting into any crazy extensions until it recovers. See that he's faint still, trying to use some small strikes to work his way in. I believe Ferguson has like a level 3 jab. Yeah, pull that strike. Delayed the head kick. When somebody gets right back in the kicking range, and they're usually flicking high block and low block, if you just wait half a second, the head kick usually lands if they don't expect it coming. Now he's back to trying to fish for me to make a mistake. Here comes the spinning elbows. Not going to move my head if I don't need to. Recognize that the block is extremely strong. The only chance for your block to get shredded is if, like, bad in round 1 is if you really let this guy just tee off on you, or if you get put in like a half guard postured up. Remember, your block is stronger than you think it is. There, I managed to pull the strike, pull that uppercut, managed to end off with another stun. So far so good. I made the necessary adjustment on his uppercut. When somebody's going with 2 strikes, right? So this is like a key thing here with the slip counters and pull counters, when and when you should counter. If somebody's just going 2 strikes and they're not really throwing in a 3rd strike, you can pull or slip or duck whatever is the proper counter necessary against that strike pretty much freely. So somebody just keeps using jab lead hook, or jab uppercut as the way of them getting in. You can pull that 2nd strike and land that straight, whether to the head or to the body, almost every freaking time. So now I see that he's just moving his head. Now I'm starting to slip to the inside, trying to stop that jab, and I see that he's lunging in with a front kick. So I'm keying in on that. I'm like, all right, this guy likes to lunge in from the front kick just as he gets into kicking range. And I'm gonna stick to my own game plan of meeting him with a barrage of punches once he enters in the pocket. And there he throws that lunging front kick. I slip to the outside, got the hard rock. He tries to pull, but he's rocked. If you're rocked and you try to pull, and I'm going with a forward moving uppercut, the forward moving uppercut will hit you, especially if it's a hard rock just like that. There I know his head health is going to be still recovering. I don't need to see his HUD for that. Again, I pull the uppercut, hit him with a pullback straight, and I know his head health is still hurt. Tries to fire back again, and he gets met with the left hand of God himself. And he meets his maker. Dustin is just such a solid pick in this weight class, man. Man, as long as you don't run into a solid Khabib, man, or RDA, you're Gucci. But on to this fight now. This guy was a 5-bar or a 4 or 5-bar. No, I think he was actually a yellow bar, but whatever the hell he was. Never matched up with him before, but he immediately takes the outside, which is unusual for somebody who's using Jorge Masvidal. Usually the Jorge Masvidals are looking to stay on the outside, and I see he's doing the Mr. I'm feeling myself. I'm just gonna feint to the body with a body straight. And I figured if it's a name I've never seen before and they're taking a patient approach with a character that's not really using the patient way, it's a no. And he's attacking my legs, which is good. That's good. If you're fighting against a Stephen Thompson, you want to take out his legs. So he's trying to play the mad of the game and have me come to him. But unfortunately for him, I'm pretty comfortable doing this for 5 rounds. I know with Masvidal, he has pretty good power, access to boxing combinations and Muay Thai combinations. I also know what he can't do, and I know that he can't do a low singles. His takedown offense isn't high enough, so that's not a concern. Like if I was going against Colby or if I was going against Usman. Based on the patience of this player, if I see a player's really patient and just hanging on the outside, I'm going to be a little bit reserved with what I throw because I can tell they're just waiting for me to either make a mistake or get me to overreact. So even though he's attacking my legs, I know that Masvidal doesn't have the highest level leg kicks. And I don't really have to be concerned because it seems to me this guy's throwing it just to throw it. Being that he's throwing it in so close punching range, it means that he's just hopefully looking to get something efficient rather than land him effectively. And circling. Man, Jorge Masvidal would not be, definitely wouldn't be a fan of this for sure. I don't know if any of you guys saw their fight in Madison Square Garden. I know that first round was pretty good, and then Thompson just blitzed him from like a side angle with a straight and just dropped him. Then booped him with a side kick over, had him flip over. It was a masterclass clinic. People forget about that, man. That wasn't no split decision. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That was a solid shutout. Notice that this guy's flicking his high block, flicking his low block. So for now, I just gotta keep things single shots. Single shots. If I'm coming in from out of range, if I'm inside the pocket, I'm gonna double up. But I want to see what exactly this dude is fishing for. And based on what he's doing right then and there, it's waiting for me to come to him. And once I try to start up my combination, he's gonna try to plant and rip first. And there he goes for a slip body straight. Not a lot of people are doing that, so I'm gonna give him some credit there as well. I feel like it's a lot more effective than the slip straight nowadays. A patient Masvidal. Who would have thought? So what can I infer from this round? Every time he goes to my body, he's gonna follow up with his second strike to the head. He doesn't seem to be the type to take that unnecessary risk of doubling up to my body, because obviously people are gonna try to feed you uppercuts. So in this case, I'm like, I don't like the way this fight is going, because the way it's going is that this guy's content to go to a decision, and he's content to stay on the outside with a character that doesn't really get used to the outside. So I'm just gonna up the pressure, but not so much with my strikes, but with my footwork, just to see how he reacts if I start to outland him a little bit. And now he's starting to slip, so now his defense is coming out. He's going slip left, slip right, pulls. Managed to avoid that flurry, and he keeps circling circles into a body kick. Now see, once I see somebody that's empty slipping, doing slip straights into the air, they're hoping for something. But right there, I thought he was gonna slip, and he ducked. Thankfully, he didn't hit me with a hard counter there, because that would have been bad. But the side kicks to the body, chopping up the body of Masvidal. And for the rear hook to the body, then I'm landing here in the southpaw position. When it's an opposite stance matchup, when I'm southpaw, whether he's orthodox, that rear hook to the body lands so well if you plant it.
Good defense there. Under 3 minutes now to go in round 2.
Waiting. Goes with a jab, rear hook, lead body hook. That's nice. That's a really nice combo.
Timely defense there. Huge block for him. Well, he's really starting to land a high number of strikes here in the second round. No
tries to slip, hit him with the side kick to the head. Alternate with the side kick to the body. Gotta use Thompson's tools here. Crowd him as he tries to start up with that leg kick. Take it away from him. I know he's not going to shoot on me, so I don't really have to worry about grappling at this point. And then he pulled that rear hook but didn't counter. He went another side kick as he's trying to come in and enter the pocket. Another body kick. And you see that hit reaction. When you get that specific hit reaction, that means you're crossing dangerously low into the flashing zone. That's a lot of damage, especially the southpaw kick landing to the liver. Another body kick. Even though it's only round 2, those hit reactions are telling me his body's hurting. And there I made a bad mistake. I threw a body kick in punching range, and he planted and ripped the combination. So a lot of the work that I did in that round, almost for nothing, but not really for nothing, because I am noticing that his body's hurt. And right there, he tries to go forward, and I tag him with a spinning kick to the body, and it body rocks him. So even though he got that drop, even though he got that, that damage to my head, the damage I'm landing to his body is going to be a lot more significant, because as I said, those hit reactions to the body tell me that his body health is flashing, that it's in critical danger. Honestly, the best way to land those side kicks is when somebody's coming forward. Don't do it, throw them too much. If somebody's like circling left and right, there's a good chance they can miss and they can sidestep. But if you catch them right as they're coming into you in a straight line with their strikes, it's going to land really well.
Good exchanges from both fighters.
He's feeling it now. Nice combination there by Thompson. And he connects with the punch. Hand speed, man.
Good kick to the body.
Oh, that body kick got the body rock.
He's clearly in pain. There.
And he's blocking his head. So I don't know if he naturally just blocks his head. That's how I was thinking. I'm like, it's weird that he kept on blocking his head even though his body's the one that's clearly hurt. And I see that the Masvidal model starting to slow down. Crowded me on that side kick, which is good on his part. Try to fish out a slip counter there. He's playing the head guessing game now. A little bit too late for leg kicks now, buddy. Another side kick for good measure. Almost made another fatal mistake with the body kick thrown in punching range. And he delays that entire four-piece Muay Thai combo. Interesting. Right, spazzy front kick. And here's just a matter of time. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to force anything. There he tries to force out a slip straight. Tag him with a hook. Body kick. Letting my stamina recover. Catch him as he whips the jab and land another body kick. He's having a hard time catching these, so I'm just delaying it. All I'm doing is jab. I'm waiting half a second. Firing off another body kick. I know he's not done. It's not his head that's hurt. It's his body that's hurt. Now he finally lets go of his head block. This dude doesn't take me down. That is confusing. You caught my kick. Don't take me down. And shoot afterwards with Masvidal. It's weird. And again, the body kick is just money here. I'm just going to feint to the body a little bit more. Keep him guessing. He's flicking his high block, flicking his low block. And again, somebody who's playing really patient. Just got to pick your spots and go. Now it's time for the knees to come out. Tries that slip counter again. I timed the hook. You see somebody that's trying to lead with that slip counter. The lead hook is the answer. Got another body rock. I'll take my time. And after sipping way too many bottles of Recuerdo, Jorge Masvidal's liver shuts down and this fight is done. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is part 1 for episode 10. Part 2 will be coming out tomorrow and that one will be live commentary. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you everyone that's been supporting me thus far. I really appreciate every single one of you. Take care. Love your loved ones. I'm out of here.